Coach, outside of a win against Incarnate Word, what would constitute a positive game tomorrow, or something that you come out of it feeling good going into Big 12 play?
Yeah, I think the answer to that question is would be the same for any game. Obviously the objective is to win the game, but second behind that objective is to continue to get your team to improve. I think every coach and every player and every team feel the same way, but especially us here in Lubbock. I think five or six of our eight guys that are playing the majority of the minutes right now are new players. So as you guys can imagine, we consider ourselves a work in progress. We're literally just trying to get better each day, whether it be individual work, weight room, team practice, or games are an opportunity to try to get better as well. So tomorrow will be no different. Our objectives to try to win the game. And then secondary objectives are try to get better. Each individual player try to play their best game of the year, offensively and defensively and special teams. Make sure our team gets better as a team, as a unit. I know it's not the most fancy answer, and it's not the most glamorous type answer, but it's true. I mean, we're literally just trying to get better each day. We want to try to be the best team we can be come February or March.
What stands out to you just from what you've seen about Incarnate Word?
I like their team. I think we've got a great relationship with those coaches. We've played them before. This was another relationship type game that was scheduled when the COVID hit. So we followed their team for a while. As you guys know or might not know, it's where I started my college coaching career. I was a graduate assistant at Incarnate Word in 1995. And so it's a school that I've always pulled for and follow. Incarnate Word has good players, as they should. It's a great place to recruit to. San Antonio is one of the best cities, not only in our state, but our country. They got a beautiful campus, and they're playing in a really good league. In my opinion, they've had a season kind of disrupted by COVID. They've had some games canceled and postponed, but the games they have played, they've been more than competitive. Basically a one-possession game in every game they've been, including Division I road games like Wyoming, for example. So we think this is a team that's got talent. They've got several guys in the roster that can play in Big 12 teams. We've got a lot of respect for the coaching staff, so I predict that they'll be a real factor in their league this year.
All right, let's go to Carlos.
Chris, how do you kind of feel the break kind of treated the guys mentally and physically?
It'd probably be a question for them, Carlos. It was a short break, I've said it many times, and I really mean it. A lot of respect for college basketballs at this level. These guys really don't have a summer break. They very rarely have a spring break. They never do. Christmas, same deal. So our guys this year, they get off the 23rd and 24th is all. And, of course, with travel, some of the guys weren't even able to go home at all. So, I don't know. It is a mental break just to get away from team practice for a couple days. But it's not the break that most people think when you think of Christmas break.
With Terrence, I know we were talking in the offseason about him being more consistent, would kind of take his game to the next level. How have you seen him over the last couple of games where he's kind of led you all in scoring and just been that aggressive guy on offense that you expected him?
Yeah, I think that's a question that's yet to be answered. I give him credit for 2 straight Big 12 games. Played well against Kansas and obviously played well against Oklahoma. So he's 2 for 2 in terms of impacting the game. But I think it's too premature to say. I understand what TJ's goals are, not only in college and the Big 12, but also with his life, his quest to try to play in the NBA. I meet with him almost on a daily basis about the idea of consistency. If you're going to be an NBA player, you better be an all-conference player in the Big 12. And to be an all-conference player in the Big 12, there's a certain amount of consistency that's required. Nobody's an all-conference player in this league that plays well every 2 out of 3 games, 2 out of 4, 3 out of 5. I mean, you guys know you got to show up 18 straight and put your mark on a game to be in that category. And I'm pulling for TJ. That's what our team needs. I know that's what he wants. But I think it's too early to answer that question. I mean, let's watch him have 7 or 8 straight games, and then I think it's time to talk about that.
Back to Incarnate Word, they're a team that likes to shoot the 3 ball. They made 42% of their shots going from the 3-point line. I guess, can you just kind of speak to what you all are kind of looking to kind of slow them down in terms of what they're able to do from the 3-point line?
Yeah, I would agree with you. Incarnate Word has an identity, and one of the main things, non-negotiable, is their ability to shoot the three-point shot, sometimes in all 5 positions on the floor, almost always 4 positions. They work hard to get threes, both in transition and in the half court. Their coaching staff does a good job setting things up for three-point shooters. So very similar to the teams in the Big 12 that we have to compete against in league play. The three-point shot's a weapon in college basketball. So defensively, it's always one of our top concerns, focuses, priorities.
Last one from me. I know I keep asking you about it, but Kevin McCullar is out of his boot. I guess is he a game time decision at this point? And I guess what have you seen and heard from the training staff that's made you feel positive about his prospects?
Yeah, definitely going in the right direction. Starting to practice now. I would say 100% accurate. There'll be a game time decision. We'll see how he does today and how he feels in the morning. But we know we're going in the right direction. We know we're ahead of schedule. We know Mike Neal has done a great job with this, but above all, Kev deserves the credit. He's been as disciplined as I've ever seen a player over these last couple of weeks in terms of his rehab. So he's going to be back on the court sooner than later, Carlos. I can't confirm or deny he'll play tomorrow.
Let's go to Joe Yeager. You there, Joe?
Yeah, Coach, continuing with the McCullar theme, I was just wanting to know, given your already outstanding defense that you're playing right now, and the fact that McCullar is a very good defensive player, once he does return, how much of an impact can he make on the defensive end?
Yeah, I think Kev can impact the game in all sorts of ways. We've talked about this before, right? I think last year, second half of the conference, when he finally got – I don't know if he's ever completely healthy because he didn't have an off season, but when he got into a rhythm, he played as well as anybody in the league. Certainly was arguably our best player down the stretch. So first of all, we're just talking about one of the best players in the Big 12, coming back to our team. With Kev, there's so many intangibles too, like some of the issues, some of the things that we're trying to improve on, we can get them fixed quickly just by adding Kev, whether it be wanting to move the ball a little bit more on offense, not let the ball stick. These are things that Kev does because he's such a good player. Then defensively, I agree with you, Joe. You're talking about adding one of our best defenders back to the mix. So obviously he hasn't played since last March in games, so there's going to be an adjustment period. But I have a lot of confidence in Kev. I'm kind of viewing this different than I might in the past, where I'm trying to make it where there's not a transition period for him to come back and start impacting the game. I'd like Kev to block a shot and get a basket his first 2 possessions on the floor. I don't think we're putting too much pressure on him because I think he's more than capable of meeting these expectations.